everything is impermanent, and when we face those moments, like a little surprise, if we have a calm and quiet mind, we may be able to make good judgment. And good judgment may mean not making any judgment. So Zen may be seen as very paradoxical in the sense that they talk about things. And one of the ones that I remember is Daisetz Suzuki. And there was an article, or maybe a book called Dead Man Daisetsu. And it's about the death of ego. And what is death of ego? It's like a death of your mind. And that's very counterintuitive to have such a state, because usually typical people do this, do that, and this is higher priority and this is not. So we use mind. I don't know the percentage of it, but fairly high percentage. And that man Daisetz indicate he doesn't think much. He lived as if he was dead. And who would want to be like that? Let's look into this case of death. Let's call it the physical death, not the death of ego. At the end of life, facing death, there's not much you can do. At the end, you may still struggle, or you may just accept and go with the flow. I often say samadhi is like no mind, no self. So it means empty-minded. And I say that's correspond to be with the way of nature. So that at the point of death, when you do this practice of samadhi, there's alignment. What you're doing with the way of nature, which is death. So that's peaceful, because you're not struggling anymore. There's no ego, no desire. All the options are taken away, and nothing you can do. So living dead doesn't sound like very appealing image. But it may be an image of a young child playing around, not thinking much, and full of energy, not to be concerned about right and wrong. But we are conditioned to live in the society, do the right, not the wrong. So that man Daisetz is outside of such typical notion of the society's way of our life. I had this occasion this morning that I found one of the mail that I sent to IRS got returned because of the wrong address, and the address was by the AI, so I checked with the AI, and AI made a mistake, so I may have to go through it. It takes time, printing, signing, mailing to Santa Monica and my friend to mail, that kind of process. But if you have a mind conditioned to do right, of course, You don't feel good about it, but we can accept, let go, be in the state of samadhi. Many options that we have may not happen. That often is the reality of using the mind. So that man indicate not much use of the brain or the mind and be calm. Possibly coming up with wisdom to deal with the situation. And the wisdom may be doing nothing. Myokonin Saichi talks about the funeral. He talks about the funeral of himself to go to Nirvana or Pure Land, kingdom of heaven. And he goes there and he comes back. He goes there, he comes back. Somehow I can relate to that. Like this case of this document didn't go well. These things happen. Everything is impermanent and everything passes. But that's counterintuitive for the ego. So peace ultimately is like accepting everything. And I think Saichi, the Myokonin, or Daisetz have gone through that. And also Fukuda, the Myokonin, I am just right as I am. That statement is to be with the way of nature all the time, which is beyond the human, but rather to be seen more like a dead person. So everything is okay. So her case too, she had the funeral, like Saichi and Daisetz. What about the Krishnamurti? I think the words that he used, especially toward the end of his life, is, I don't mind whatever happens, or something like that. So he's at peace to whatever happens. Somehow, all these comments, I feel, are pointing the same state of mind, body, acceptance, everything as it is, nature's way. Let's say I'm getting more and more retarded and can't remember things. Sometimes I remember English, but I forgot the Japanese expression, or vice versa. So it's a surprise for my mind. Oh, I cannot remember that one. People's name, why I left things. But isn't it the nature's way? Instead of being stressed, go with the flow. The way of nature, of the way of the universe. So, dead man Daisetz. Am I dead? dead at peace, dead at happiness, true happiness, being the way of nature. When you breathe in the fresh air and breathe out, no mind movement. You feel dead? Actually, on the contrary, you feel alive. And that may be the sensation toward ending part of our life. In silence, be with the way of nature. May we call that enlightened. Doesn't matter what word is, or awakened. Awaken to your true self. And appreciate life. Namu Amida Butsu. That's what the Myokonin says. They're being in the kingdom of heaven, Nirvana, Pure Land. And when you are dead in yourself, ego, you are back to the Garden of Eden. The regulation changes, the law changes. So all these things happen, and I can consume my time and energy to avoid this or take advantage of this. I was using AI to find a strategy, but that's just the playing in the mind. I can say that's meaningful because certain money can be devoted in this organization instead of going to the national, reducing the national debt or something in the country or countries. That's the playing in the game in our mind. May we transcend that. Like Saichi, go in and out. Being human, not dead, but ego can be dead or pop up again. Let's say hide and seek. And the sun is shining after the rain. You hear the rooster. I'm here, appreciating my life. Then Kigen, let's make the most of it. Utilizing all the talent, appreciate life, and find the path. May all beings be happy. I think that's the way of nature. good day, good life, good death, good everything.